Problem day, guys, but not to worry, we've got you. So I was going through the statistics for game week 2 and also reviewing game week 1's stats, and I realized that coming or heading into game week 2, Frimpong was one of the most transferred out players. And I was like, wow, what's going on? Because I felt Frimpong had a lot of potential to give out this season, or at least for a few game weeks. So I was still wondering what was going on. And upon research, I realized that Charlie, let's get into it. But before we do, kindly subscribe and like. Let's get into it. And also leave a comment. Let's know what you think. So I got this injury news. So as I said, it's always important to look out for injuries, to hear what the managers have to say prior to the game week. Most of the times they would have their press conferences before most of the matches are had, and if you are lucky, it's going to be way before the deadline. So you could also use that in a certain way to shape up your team. So I looked at one or two, I listened to a few of them, and let's get into it. So for Newcastle, we have Willock coming back, so it's going to be a plus for Newcastle. We are going to have Willock coming back for them against Liverpool. Even though one of Liverpool's biggest men now for this season, one of their new transfers, is injured, it's going to be something else. But let's get into it, because the team is still structured, so it's not going to be so much of a problem. And the number 2 to him, let me say, Bradley, is also back. He trained, he had a few sessions, he had a few minutes out there, so he's in contention. So let's see how that one goes as well. So that is it. So Frimpong is out with a hamstring injury. So that's why he was being substituted out by most of the managers. So as I always say, you could do everything right, but it's just one of those things. No matter what you do, it just goes against you. So we have that. Ampedu out, Okafor and Lowen are in contention. So Leeds United they recently signed Noah Okafor. Let's see how he also does for them. For Chelsea, we have Fofana and Townsend. Adebayo back against West Ham. Potter to give us a little information here and there as to what to expect coming this game week. He was like, for this game week, they would have to do better. So let's see what his definition of better is, and let's see how bets or how well Chelsea are going to get prepared for them, because we expect a good performance from them following the goalless draw with Everton. That is Chelsea. So here is a complete list of every player missing from the teams. That was as at the 21st of August 14:54 BST. So let's get into it. So Arsenal are without Gabriel Jesus. He has a knee injury. Christian Norgard, Kai Havertz. Christian has a knock. Kai is still suffering with some knee injuries. Let's see how that one goes. And for Arsenal, it's not going to be a problem so much, because attacking wise they are okay now. So you don't really need you are not really stressed. It's just going to be about selection, because they have a new player in Gyökeres. They have Noni Madueke. They also have Saka on the right. They have Martinelli on the left. Trossard is there. So for attacking wise, they don't really have so many issues. Aston Villa are without Garcia and Ross Barkley. They both have knocks, not really significant, I think. Bournemouth, okay, they don't have Justin, they don't have Ryan. Unai too is out, so Unai has a knee injury. Justin calf, Christian fitness issue, so I'm sure he just needs to get put in a little bit more and he should be good to go. Burnley, not really, I don't think. Humphreys, Zeki, let's see, not really significant, I think. Gustavo, hamstring. Pinnock, I think he played some key moments last season. Let's see how that goes for Brentford. So I'm going to focus on the teams that I think is going to you should really focus on them coming into game week 2. So for Brighton, we have Webster, we have Solly Match. Not really an issue because now they have other options. So I think they should be okay for now. They both have knee injuries, so Chelsea are still without Levi Colwill, but they are Shale and Romeo Lavia, who have knee injuries. So Colwill is facing a knee injury, but they are still knock. So let's see how that one goes. We have Lavia with a muscle injury, so let's see how that one goes as well. Crystal Palace, Nketiah still recovering from the hamstring. The rest, let's see how everything goes. Everton, alright, so Fulham, Ryan Sessegnon, Robertson, very vital player last season. Let's see how that one goes as well. So all these things are very important to always look out for, because you never know. So as I said, Frimpong hamstring, Bradley fitness, because he just came back from an injury himself, so they would have to assess him to see how things go. Rodri, nothing really said, so let's hope for the best. Vardiol as well. Savino faced the knock. So with City, they already have a lineup, even though Pep prefers to rotate. Let's see what he goes with this weekend, and we can continue from there. Manchester United are without Martinez, Lisandro Martinez, Mazraoui. Said very important, go through, get to know the players so you don't make the wrong decisions, even though sometimes you could go through all, and with what happened with Frimpong could just happen. A player could just pick up a knock, could just pick up an injury, and everything goes bad. So you should also consider selecting not too bad players for your bench. That way, once a player gets injured, you wouldn't have to rush to go do transfers, which could end up giving you a minus. So you could still conserve your points and have something to go with. Spurs are still without Kulusevski, James Maddison. The rest, let's see how it goes. West Ham, let's see how it goes. Wolves, let's see how it goes. So basically, that is it for the injuries. We have a whole lot of players, very vital, who are still on the injury list. The most prominent now, I think, being Frimpong. So we see this, we get into it. So in the subsequent video, we are going to give you stats on who to look out for and who to select for the game week 2. We had comments, people asking what to do to get to be better managers. That's not an issue. Once all that is needed is you just need to be consistent. You can be starting very late, that's starting in game week 2, and still get it done. You might not get into the first 10, but at least you could get into a higher rank, which would be far better than just giving up now. So let's also see how most of the teams shaped up, and I think it's very important to know how they shape up and know how it's going to affect with the fixtures coming on. So we'll just get into that as well. As I said, it's always very interesting to get that done, get to know who is who, what is there. So as I said, the interview. So these are the pre-match conferences. You had 1 or 2 there. You can just go through in your own free time. Then moving on, so we have how the team shaped up for game week 1. Arsenal went with the 4-3-3. Very important. They maintained their shape from last season. Very important. Which gave them the very important win over Manchester United. They won by a goal to 0. So these are the stats. Very good game. Even though Man U were able to hold them, you could see that Arsenal were still not down there. They were able to break through the lines. So you could see transition opportunities. So even though Man U had most of the possession, they were able to break through with their transition. So whenever they got the ball, it was still easy for them to coordinate their passes, because they still had what they still had their shape from last season, which is very important. So we would see how that one goes. So we have Aston Villa. They went with a 4-2-3-1, which basically still has most of the old timers in there. So very important. We'll see how well Morgan Rogers develops this season. Very, very vital player last season. Let's see how he develops. We also have Watkins, Ollie Watkins, for the striking aspect. Let's see how well he does this season as well. Bournemouth went with a newer formation, 4-1-4-1. I think in the coming weeks it's going to change, but let's keep our fingers crossed to see with the players who left and new players coming in. I think they had to readjust, but let's see how that also went, how that will also go for them. Brentford, they went with a 4-2-3-1, new coach, new philosophy. I feel you should just try to avoid them now because there's still a whole lot they have to learn. There's still a whole lot of coercion still to go on. So let's avoid them for now. It's no big rush. You can keep them off your books for now. We have Brighton and Hove Albion, 4-2-3-1, very, very important. Let's also keep our eyes on them. Some vital players. Mitoma, you can keep him or you can get him. Very, very good guy. Can give you 1 or 2 good points here and there. Then we move to Burnley, 5-4-1. I think this should change as the season goes on. They were playing 4-4-1-1 last season, so let's see how it goes. 5-4-1, that was something different, so let's see how it goes. Maybe they playing against a bigger side, they wanted to be a little bit reserved, they wanted to be very calculated, even though things didn't go their way. Let's see how it goes. Chelsea with the new and stagnant formation 4-2-3-1 had the constant, even though there were little changes at the back. Let's see whether a champion still features. So you could still go for your constants in Cucurella, Caicedo, or Fernandes. Caicedo, not really. You can, if he's cheaper, you can go for him just to hang around, but do not focus on him so much because he's not going to give so much points as compared to the Fernandes and Pedro, Palmer Dems. So you can just keep him around for keeping sake. That is if you are really enthused about it. Palace with their 3-4-2-1. Very important. Very, very vital players there. In Mateta, Eze, and Ismail Assar. Very, very good players last season. Let's see how it goes. And you also have Munez, the wing back. Very, very good player. He played some very, very vital games last season. Let's see how that one goes too as well. And Everton with a 4-2-3-1. I'm yet to really figure them out. I feel even though they have a new stadium and all, it's going to take a whole lot to get them there. So you can we will keep an eye on them. I'll let you know what we think. Fulham 4-2-3-1, very solid team. Can give the performances when needed. So we keep an eye on them as well. So you would have been focusing on Robertson, but he's hurt. So for now, you just keep an eye on them as well because now there's not so much to talk about. Leeds United 4-3-3. Let's see what Okafor brings into the team. Let's see who gives the points for them. Then we can go with them because they are a very attacking team, which is going to help when it comes to goals. So as the weeks go by, would let you know. You can keep the striker Joel. You can keep him. Let's see how that one goes as well. Liverpool 4-3-3. The only change here now is going to be Frimpong. So let's hope Bradley will be fully fit. If he's not, I'm sure you can have Szoboszlai. You can have Wataru Endo also playing. So they are not lack of or bereft of choices as of now. City 4-3-3. They are also, there's going to be some few rotations, I believe, here and there. So you can keep. So Renders is a good choice. You can have Haaland, very solid guy. Good points come from there. United 3-4-3. It's good. They are going to give some good performances here and there, but let's see how well they'll do against the smaller teams who also decide to sit back and play on the counter. Let's see how they will fare against the smaller teams before we fully go into United. Now the team looks structured, it looks unstructured. Let's see how they fare against the smaller teams, because against the bigger teams they are well composed. So let's see how they do against the smaller teams. So all in all, Newcastle 4-3-3. Newcastle, let's give it 1 or 2 weeks before we fully go into Newcastle. I feel Nottingham Forest 4-2-3-1. Solid guy in Wood, you can get him. Even with the departure of 1 or 2 players, he will still deliver the goal, so you can get him. Sunderland 4-3-3. Let's see how that one goes. They had a good game against West Ham, but let's see whether they will be able to keep the run going before we fully invest in them. So you can get Ballard. He seems to be the solid guy at the back. You can get him if you want. Then we continue from there. Then now Spurs are showing a whole lot of potential, and it's good because at the end of the day you need to have differentials. You need to have so many options. So we can go for Porro. Kudus is there, very, very solid guy. Richarlison too, very, very solid. He can deliver the point. You have Brenda Johnson, very, very good player as well. 1 or 2 not so consistent, but let's see. He'll be part of the play, but he's always going to be at the latter. He's always going to be at the beginning. You wouldn't get 1 or 2 assists, so you can just keep him around for keeping sake. But Porro, Kudus, Richarlison, I'm sure they will be delivering the points this season. For West Ham, I'm not too certain about them because I had my eyes on Bowen, but I am yet to see what really he can present. Now with they facing Chelsea, is a different dilemma for us. So let's give it a few weeks to see. Wolves, I feel, are still in the developmental stages, so let's not rush. You could go for Larson if you want, but let's keep fingers crossed and see how things go. So all in all, that is how it looks formation wise and injuries. So you consider the formation, who has the most attacking threats, who has the least attacking threats, the bigger teams, the smaller teams, who to go for. Everything has been said. We showed you how they lined up. For the teams with attacking threats, you can get them for your attackers and midfielders. Get a few of the smaller teams who are very solid. So Sunderland you can get for defenders, Arsenal for defenders, you can get a Chelsea player for defender, you can also get a Man U player for defender, because they look like they don't want to concede, neither do they have the potential to win. So you can get them for defense as well. When it comes to midfield, you can get City player, you can get a Liverpool player, you can get an Arsenal player as well, because they are just attacking, very structured. You can get a Spurs player too as well, because now Spurs are showing a lot of potential. Brighton and Hove Albion to have a lot of good quality when it comes to your midfield selection, so you can also get them as well. Striking, City, Liverpool, Chelsea, let's see how it goes this weekend before we fully invest in Chelsea. You can go for Nottingham Forest for your forwards, then we are good to go. So with goalkeeping, let's focus on Chelsea. Let's focus on Arsenal. We are going to focus on Liverpool, and I'll give you the last one soon. So watch out for the next video as we give you the stats and the team.